Say July 2nd, corrected. Hey, Bob.
And turn, see the camera?
Yeah.
See, hit start video.
Yeah, okay.
And then look, your camera's gonna go right there. You're gonna see yourself.
There we go.
Yeah, we can now talk to you. Thank you.
And then just hit that
Yeah.
button up at the top and it'll, so you can see
You
everybody.
kids. Got it.
And then
Hi, Bob.
we'll do
Hi, how are you?
the smaller.
Good. Good
smaller.
tonight. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. I'm good. Thank you very much. All these kids,
Thank God for him, huh, Bob?
thank
What's
God.
that?
Yeah. Just make sure the audio is on. Of course, it wasn't.
There we go. Just so you know that you're already being recorded. Just wanted to warn you.
Thank you.
Your
Bob Gray.
audio. There you go. All right, so you're not on video right now, okay? See this right?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
All right.
Wow, someone needs a barber.
And it's not Bob Green.
No,
Not me. I shaved my beard off though.
Mark.
Good thing you're coming up as Rob. We got too many. We got what? How many Bobs tonight? 2 Bobs?
you can call me by my nickname.
And what's that?
You're being recorded, so be careful.
Moose.
All right. That's all right.
Don't I have a face like a moose? Look,
No comment.
you guys are missing out. If we had smell-o-vision, we just had BLTs for dinner.
The house smells good.
So these are board members, except for Rob. Rob is an applicant. Right before you.
I see Don join.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's joining by phone.
What's it say, switch cameras? What's that mean? I think then that big camera comes down here. Let's try it. We got time.
Bob Mara.
Is that your background?
Real long.
Oh, that's not Mike Steers, but that's okay. I'm gonna rename him.
Hey,
Hold on. Now you're. Sorry, I don't know why Ray has that name.
I know why he did.
yeah,
Because we just clicked on the link. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, you
He,
changed it.
but he got that link from Mike Steers instead of using the public link.
Ah, there we go.
okay. I understand that, Carol. That's clear.
Just so you know, if you question.
All right, so
Get my hearing aids out. Okay.
Carol, do you have your video off, Carol?
practice.
Okay, now, okay. No, I can't hear anybody. They can't
Nope,
hear.
nope.
Yeah, we can still hear you, Ray.
Yeah. I do have my video off. Do you need to see me?
No, that's all right. I was just curious if I had.
Oh,
done something
okay.
wrong. That's all. I
I'm
just-
hiding in the background. It gives more spaces for the board members to be up.
Okay.
Can everyone hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rob.
My mute was on for some reason.
I muted you.
Good.
Oh, again?
When the meeting gets started, everyone who's not a planning board member is going to be muted until they ask for you to be part of the discussion. Somebody's got a lot of noise in the background. I'm not sure who it is, though.
Need 2 more members to make a quorum.
I know, I don't know where Mike Steers is. Mr. Tights, can I help you?
Yes. Yes, I just wanted to check my mic and camera while we were waiting.
Okay. I'm going to promote you to panelist so that you will have your camera. There you go.
Okay.
We can see you.
Okay, good. I gotta change my background too. I'm not in Bristol anymore. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
will.
Mike,
So, Carol?
yeah,
Yeah, I've been watching you. So now you've unmuted me?
I have. You're on the attendees side. I don't know why, so I'm going to promote you to panelist.
So at the moment, Carol, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You don't have any video, though.
No, my screen is, for some reason, I'm not, you're not sharing my screen.
I'm not sharing it.
Well, that's what it said, but okay.
There
Here
you
you are.
go.
Wow, amazing.
All right, I can't make myself Helen Woodhouse, so we're just gonna have to pretend I'm Helen Woodhouse. Usually I can change my name.
That's
Do you
okay.
want me to change it to something?
Yeah, you can
How
change
about
from Hillary.
Virginia?
Who shall I be then? No, so I'm using Hillary's iPad. And
Oh, I did just notice that now. Okay, I will fix it.
so, and usually I can change it. And I don't know why I can't. This goes to show you.
We know who you are.
Well, that's me. Okay. All right, well, we'll just do it that way.
So we got a
There you go.
quorum. Do we
We're
have
all
a
set.
We have a quorum?
5.
Bob Marr, you like you're in outer space. My God, look at you.
Yeah, I don't know how I changed the background, but I did it. I think you have to do it in your settings, not while you're on.
Right. Just so you all are aware, you are being recorded and it is being live streamed right now. Quorum, Mike.
Very good. So we have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is to review the minutes from the June 2nd meeting. And I'd ask if there are any additions, corrections, deletions.
I make a motion that we accept them as submitted.
Katie, second. Let me make one correction in that the heading of the minutes says March 3rd, but it was really the June 2nd meeting in the title. Other than that,
Mike, may I suggest you do the vote by roll call and make it clear what members are actually present at the meeting?
okay. So do we want to do a roll call first?
It would be a good idea.
So this is Chairman Mike Steers.
Mark
Uh,
Katie,
Well, but roll call usually means that Mike, you say all their names and then they say present.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mark Katie,
here.
Bob Murphy,
Here,
Bob Green.
Here.
Alan Woodhouse.
Here.
That's it. At the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. So back to the minutes from the
Just
June.
bring the
3rd
telephone
meeting.
here.
Pardon? Back to the minutes for the June 3rd meeting, June 2nd meeting, excuse me. I believe there was a motion to accept the minutes as presented. The only correction being June 2nd as the date of the meeting.
That's
what
mine says.
Mine says two,
No.
Mike.
yeah, mine says two.
Mine says
Well,
June.
good. I'm glad. I'll stand corrected then. Mine says, it does, but that's, the important thing is that the approved minutes reflect the meeting on June 2nd. Thank you.
All right, well, I make a motion, we approve them as submitted on the meetings of June 2nd, 2020.
Mark Katie, second.
Is anyone opposed to that motion? Thank you. All in favor? Moving on to the next item of business is, the first item is a new business. It's a minor subdivision of plat 46 lot 14-1 for Mariana Cooper and Howland. This is an area which we did a subdivision last year, an administrative subdivision, moving some lot lines. And now they wish to subdivide the property as a minor subdivision, creating a lot of 10.73 acres, of which they've given us an approved septic plan. And I believe Mr. Tights is going to present this.
This is Andrew Tights, representing the applicants. Is Bill Smith on with us? I guess not. Well, I hope you don't have any real technical questions.
That's right. Who were you looking for, Mr. Tight?
Bill Smith, the surveyor for the subdivision.
He is on. I just allowed him to, or asked him to unmute.
Okay, good. Thank you, because he's more the presenter as I am, but while he's getting him unmuted, it's basically very simple. It's a very large parcel. It's over 17 acres, almost 18 acres. And the plan is to split it into two lots using this existing private right-of-way known as Wardell Road as the dividing line between them. And the eventual plan also calls for the conservation of the property to the east, which is shown here as the proposed lot 14-3. That is the current plan. And then the house lot would be sold with a smaller bit of land around it.
Andy, Bill, my only question is you didn't put on it the diameter of the right of way. That's the only issue I found.
The width of the right of way. Okay, well, I don't know, Bill, or can you answer that? I think it
Unfortunately,
varies is part of the problem.
Mr. Smith seems to be having technical difficulties. His microphone is not working.
Can you relay that message to him, Andy?
Yes, I will. It is actually paved for a good portion of it. It's not paved, I mean, it's gravel, it's not just dirt. It's a
Correct.
gravel way. So,
I
We could-
found it to be suitable, but I just would like delineated on the plan, the width of it.
okay,
So Mark, would you like the right of way delineated and then the travel way within that?
No, just the right of way width.
Okay,
The right of way being the gravel road.
yes.
Well, the
That
right of
does-
way being the width of the right of way. The travel is more than adequate, but I just wanted it doesn't tell me, it says gravel driveway, but it doesn't tell me what the width of the right of way is.
I do believe Mr. Smith can speak now.
Okay,
Bill Smith? No? I take that back.
He came off a mute on this one here, my screen.
He is not muted here on the screen that I'm looking at.
Me
Yeah.
either.
No. Sorry, I thought he was able to talk to you.
so, Mark, what would you like what's the acceptable dimension of the right of way?
whatever it is. I mean,
Well, we're creating a new lot, right?
it's wider than 24 feet. But I don't know what it's delineated as. In other words,
No, I
the travel
understand.
way is probably 10 feet wide. Okay?
Yep.
And it's been in existence for a long period of time. And it's never been a problem. So,
Yeah.
but my question is, what is the width of the right of way?
I-
Not
I
the
thi-
travel.
I wish Bill were not muted, but I think the right of way is not otherwise set forth specifically. It's not a deeded, it doesn't have a meets and bounds with the description. It's a historic right of way, subject to the right of way. So I think what we could provide you with what you're looking for is we'll take several spots along. The traveled width is the right of way, and we'll take several spots along it to give you the width as it goes past the house driveway, as it makes the curve to the south, and as it goes down to the south, put in some dimensions along there of what the traveled width is.
I asked the
that do?
question, Andy, because it's a class 1 survey, so I'm sure that Bill has that information.
Okay,
For whatever reason, it may not have been put on the plan, but
okay.
I have no issues with it. I'm prepared to make a motion if nobody else has any questions.
Make a motion.
I make a motion that we accept this plan for recording contingent upon the fact that the plan that's submitted for recording indicates the dimensions of the right of way and that it be reviewed by the administrative officer and the chair prior to recording.
I'll second that.
And that in the ledger where it says to be bound, to be set is to be removed and just show set.
I'll second that.
Mr. Chairman, this is Andrew Tights again.
Yes.
May I just make that clarified that it's not just to accept it for recording, it actually is to grant approval of the minor subdivision and then to accept the plan as recorded, et cetera, because it
Yeah,
is
to record
technically
the
a
plan
minor
as-
subdivision.
Yeah, we would be approving the minor subdivision and then record upon approval.
Yes, thank you.
They have the deeds for this, right,
They will.
Andrew? They will, okay. Is the right of way in the deed, Andrew?
Not as a defined area. It's just subject to, it goes back, it references subject to that they're subject to the right of way. And the deeds, initially, it will be the same property owners. It's not, it will be conveyed, but it will first be two separate lots into these particular property owners and then conveyed out from there.
So there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is anyone opposed to that motion? All those in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
I hate to be real difficult, but with Zoom,
Yep.
and I think your solicitor would probably advise you to, could you do a roll call vote?
That's fine. Mark Katie,
Favor?
Mike Steers is in favor. Bob Murphy,
In favor?
Bob Green,
Favor?
Helen Woodhouse.
Favor.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The next item of business is an administrative subdivision of plat 33 lots 5 and 6 for Robert and Mary Mara. And I believe David Loff is going to present this. If he's not muted.
I asked him to unmute.
Okay, I see him and he's looking at his screen.
Touch the top of the screen.
Hello, all.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
we can.
Yes, David Loff, on behalf of the applicants, Rob and Mary Mara. And so what we're looking for here is a lot line adjustment. Rob and Mary own 2 parcels of land, Lot 5 and Lot 6 on plat 33. Lot 5, they currently have a residential dwelling on. Lot 6 is unimproved. It's a vacant parcel of land. So Lot 5 is just about, let's see, about 1.5 acres. It's a substandard lot of record. Lot 6 is, as you can see from the plan, is just about 4.5 acres or thereabouts. So what the Maras intend to do in this administrative subdivision is to add approximately 12 feet to Lot 5 from the strip of land, currently the 40-foot strip of land that connects to Grange Avenue. So they are looking to change the lot line by adding, again, approximately 12 feet to Lot 5. That consists in total of about 3,269 square feet, as you can see from the plan. The plan was generated by Don Medeiros, who I believe is also on the call. So that essentially is what we're looking for here. And so I would entertain any questions on the request, if there are any.
No, I have no questions. Mark, do you have any questions? It's basically just moving the lot line, making Lot 5 bigger.
Right.
The only thing I would say at this point is that this is an example of a simple administrative subdivision. The thing that caused it to come before the board is the fact that the applicant is requesting that we give it an approval for 180 days as opposed to the 90 because it's going to zoning. That required that the board take a vote. The only issue I have with the plan is that in the legend, it also says to be set, which would need to be removed. That's the only thing I saw on the plan that was an issue. I'm prepared to make a motion if there are no other concerns.
No other concerns?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
So we'll have a roll call vote. Mark?
In favor?
Mike's in favor. Bob Murphy?
In favor?
Bob Green?
In favor?
And Helen Woodhouse.
In favor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I amend my motion?
Well, I don't, yeah,
Well, we have to add that it needs to be reviewed by the administrative officer and the chair prior to recording.
so,
Also that the period to record is 180 days versus the 90 under the regs.
Right, which I put in the
Thank you.
original motion.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
But then I'll second the motion to amend it.
so I'll do a roll call on the amendment. Mark Katie,
In favor?
Mike's in favor. Bob Murphy,
In favor.
Bob Green,
Favor.
and Helen Woodhouse.
Favor.
All in favor. Thank you very much. So now we move on to special subjects. This is the category where we have actually three items that will be going before the zoning board in the near future. And they're asking for our review of these applications, petitions, and how they reflect relative to the comp plan. So the first one before us, yes,
Excuse me, Michael, can you hear me now?
Hey, Sal.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Sal.
Yes, I had trouble. I couldn't find the ID number. They didn't send it to me in the new documentation, so I had to go back to the old meeting to find it. And
Well, we're so
I was
pleased that you're
listening
with
to you
us.
people, but to no avail.
So, what kind of device are you on at the moment?
I'm on an iPhone.
Okay, so that's probably why we can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay.
And have you been listening to us up to this point?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and you're okay with everything we've done?
Yes, I am.
That's good. Okay. So now I'll move back on to special subjects. And the first petition before us is from Robert and Ruth Feria with regard to property on Sea Spray Way. And they're looking for a variance for lot coverage. And I believe David Loft is presenting this to us.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I do have Mr. Farrier here with me. Bob Farrier and his wife Ruth are seeking to obtain a variance for maximum lot coverage from the zoning board, as is set forth in the application for the variance. The lot is currently vacant. It consists of 12,150 square feet of land.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes. Because of the location of this lot and the proximity to my residence, although I'm not on the deed of the residence I'm in, I do wish to recluse myself from this particular application.
Very good. So noted. Thank you.
May I proceed?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So the relief that's being sought from the zoning board is from the maximum lot coverage. So the applicant's design of their proposed dwelling is under the design that is currently in place would require that there be about 465 square feet of building area in excess of the 10% maximum. So it's about 3.8% over the maximum lot coverage. So what needs to be understood is that the applicants are both senior citizens and have disabilities. And so a lot of the design that went into this structure, they worked with Woody Underwood from Westport, the architect. It is tailored to handicap accessibility. And so the primary area that they're seeking relief from is the garage area that has been designed specifically for wheelchair access through ramp and all of the other associated handicap abilities, handicap features of the structure. So the farriers have really done what they can to minimize the development so that it's suited for their needs. And specifically, it's a one-level structure, and they've not elected to go vertical with a second story. They are going with one bedroom, though the property is permitted for a three-bedroom OWTS. So they've done everything they can to try to work within the limits, but the architect simply was not able to have the garage suitable without the extra area to accommodate the handicap design. So in any event, my understanding is that the role here is for the board to try to get an understanding as to whether or not the variance application is consistent with the Little Compton Comprehensive Plan. And if it's okay, unless there's any questions at this point, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I view as the consistency between the request and the intent for the structure being in line with the comp plan. But prior to doing that, I wanted to just entertain any questions if there are any at this point.
Well, I'll, so the question then is really, the garage is what's driving this request for a variance?
That's
Because-
correct. I've talked extensively with the architect, and it's the garage feature that roughly consists of that 465 square foot area within the structure that is putting it in excess of that 10% maximum lot coverage figure. So that is correct.
Because from a comprehensive plan standpoint, certainly the town wants to do everything it can do to accommodate situations and access for ADA situations. This is a very unusual one because there's no structure there at the moment. Normally, we're confronted with a variance where an addition or an accommodation to modify an existing dwelling is where we would run into something like this. And at the other side is the fact that this is an area where there are very small lots. And as you've indicated, and as the situation presents itself, the lot is 12,150 square feet. So the request of additional square feet is quite substantial relative to the permitted area that could be built on that lot. So it's a dense environment. It's less than it's less than 20% of the normal zoning 2-acre. So we're in a situation where we have a very dense neighborhood. We want to there are buildings, I believe, on both sides, and so it's of concern to me that there's this much dramatic. I think it's as you pointed out, it's 3.8% of the lot coverage, but it's actually 38% more than would be allowed under a 10%. They could build 1,275 square feet, and we're asking for 1,680 square feet. So almost 470 square feet more.
Yeah.
So my concern is that density in a area that is dense and, but of course, we want to make an accommodations for living and whatever handicap accessibility can be made. So anyway, those are the questions that came to mind when I read through this.
Right. So one of the mitigating factors here is the election to keep this a one-story structure, as opposed to going to a second level, which would not, be in the calculus for the lot coverage and having a larger footprint. So one of the things that they really work very hard to do is to really minimize the development, the dwelling, but the garage and the ability for Bob to have Ruth ambulate from inside the garage to the actual dwelling was very important, and they really want to maintain that garage access so that they can pull in and be able to get her from the wheelchair into the dwelling.
Yes.
And it is, it's just about 465 square feet of area, which is maybe about 21 and a half by 21 and a half. But again, it's a single story and it's low. So I think that the idea again was to not have a large structure that would go vertical and to do what they could to really minimize by having the one bedroom to service their needs and whatnot. So and I do want to just use that. I do believe that the Little Compton comprehensive plan is replete with provisions that aim at allowing especially the seniors in town to stay in their home and age in place. And there's the goal H1 on page 49 of the comp plan specifically talks about that. Policy H1 point C talks about and emphasizes the ability for seniors to have the in place, and there's ample throughout the entirety of the comp plan to have safe and accessible housing for the elderly. And in this case, we believe that this structure was designed in really a minimal to accomplish that. And therefore, though there is a slight excess on the maximum lot coverage, when you look at what it's accomplishing in terms of providing safe entry into the home for handicap accessibility, we feel as though this is one instance where the goal of the comp plan here is really consistent with that. It's again, for the record, pages 49, 51, 59, 60, and 62 all really emphasize the ability of seniors to have a structure where they can age in place if they so elect and have safe, accessible housing. And so it's in that regard that we would ask that the board consider those provisions in terms of consistency with the comp plan and the request for the variance.
Prepared to make a motion.
Please go
So
ahead.
Mike, can I just,
Yes.
I know one of the letters says that that there is a property warranty deed which specifies a one-car garage. Does that have any impact on?
Yes, Helen, that we have not been able to find any such private restriction.
Okay, all right.
We've looked at that. That was made known to us. There are no restrictions that we are aware of, and a search has been made, so we're not aware of them.
What would happen if they couldn't add the additional 462 feet? They could not have access to the house? I mean, they wouldn't be able to build the house?
No, they wouldn't have safe access through the garage. Again, it's tailored, Bob, for access to come from the vehicle, wheelchair, and then into the ramp and into the house. So again, it's tailored for safety and handicap accessibility. That is what the intent was, and that is why the architect worked very hard to minimize the development, but at the same time try to allow for the safe entry through the garage outside of the weather and whatnot.
If it was a one-car garage, would it be safe for them to enter in the one-car garage?
Yeah, it actually is a one-car. It really is a one-car garage. I think from the design standpoint, the space that's needed is really necessary, and it really contemplates, the access for really one vehicle. That is certainly the case, and the architect, Mr. Underwood, explained that to me. Though you can technically fit two vehicles in that garage, the actual space that is there is really the space that's needed for the access of the door opening, just one vehicle door opening, and access from the vehicle to the ramp and whatnot. It would actually be very difficult, as he explained it to me, to have two cars in the garage and utilize that access in that way.
Now, you say it's a one-story building, but one of the side views looks like it's a walkout basement. Is the basement going to be finished?
No. Yeah, so Bob Ferrier is here. Bob, you can sit right here. I'll get a picture of you. So I believe that the response was that the basement is not going to be finished.
It's an unfinished basement, but it is a walkout basement.
It's the only concern that I have is the percentage increase being 25% of the total structure that they're asking for the variance for. I mean, I have no issues, with the property or the house, but I just think that's a big increase for 25% there on the house size.
Mr. Steers, you have a private citizen that has their hand raised. They'd like to speak.
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. Maderis, you will need to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
I have just a couple of things can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I just have a couple of things that I'm questioning, just for information for you also, if you can take into consideration. The house size is actually 33% larger than what is allowed. There's none of the plans show my house on the plans to show how close it is to his property. His house that he's proposing will be within 35 feet of my house and also the neighbor's house. It's a very small lot. And just to give you a little bit more information, in October, Bob Ferry approached me and my wife in our driveway and said that he was thinking of building on that lot. And I told Bob, I said, you're a builder. You built like 6 houses in this area alone. I said, you know the size of the lot, you know the limitations of it. I said, I don't have any problem with you building a house here, but I will oppose any variance. That was back in October. And In February, when I came home, I found out that there was stuff going on here, so I went to see Cal Wardell, and she showed me the plans for the house. The plans for the house that I seen was a 3-bedroom house. Then I seen Bob 2 weeks ago, and he says, "Oh no, it's a 1-bedroom house," on a Sunday. So on Monday, I went back to see Peter, and Peter says, "Oh, those first plans have been withdrawn. We have a new set of plans." So I looked at those plans, and it was more like one kid had done it for homework or something. It wasn't professional at all. And then a few days ago, he showed me another set of plans. So this is the third set of plans I've seen since he started. And when I talked to Peter today, he says, I asked the question, if he has a septic design for 3 bedrooms, I says, and he's building a 1-bedroom, what's to stop him from changing the plans again? He said, if he has a 3-bedroom septic, he can put whatever he wants there, up to 3 bedrooms. So that's something. And now the other thing was this walkout on, let's see, it's the northwest corner is a full walkout with two windows, big windows in the foundation. To me, that screams of an apartment going down there like he has up the street. And why would he need 2 driveways in the same thing? I don't understand that. But I did oppose his variance, and I told him that. The 2 driveways, I'm trying to get him on my notes here. And
Yeah,
so that's to top, well, this is the last thing I'll say. 400 feet from this property line is his regular house. His regular house has a 2-car garage. Everything is on a first level with the 2-car garage. His kitchen, his bathroom, his master bathroom, his living room is all on at 1 level. Why can't he change? If he's a builder, why can't he make something to accommodate him and his wife there? He's already got the 2-car garage. He's already got all the space up there. He's also got, in case something happened where he had to bring somebody in, he also has an apartment. If you look at his house that he lives in now, it has 2 kitchens, and it's listed as a 2-unit, which I think is illegal in Little Compton, I think. I don't know how it really works. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so this is David Loff again, and Mr. Ferry may want to also supplement. But what I want to make clear is that the current design plans comply with all of the applicable regulations except for the maximum lot coverage, which, as was specified, was just 3.8% over the required amount. So with respect to proximity to side yards and rear yards, there's no issue whatsoever with this development. And it is in conformance with the applicable zoning regulations. Bob, was there anything you wanted to add in response to what Mr. Medeiros had to say?
Well, there has never been a 3-bedroom plan presented to the building inspector. Richard was up at my house one day and I said, Richard, I will go down to the building inspector and see Peter and clear up anything right from the get-go. It's always been a 1-bedroom house. He said, well, I saw a 3-bedroom house. I said, Richard, I disagreed wholeheartedly. There's never, ever been a plan presented for the 3-bedroom house. It's always been 1-bedroom, handicap accessible, all on 1 level. That's all ever presented.
It's really a very modest proposed development. Again, they were minimalists in terms of the development. And again, we believe that the comp plan does really throughout the text here aim to allow seniors to age in their homes and have accessible, safe housing. That's prominent throughout the comp plan, and we do believe that what is being proposed is within the spirit of that comp plan.
Mark, did you have a,
I have a motion if nobody has any other concerns.
Mr. Maderas does have his hand up again, but I don't know if you need any more input from him.
We need to give him a right to speak.
He's still unmuted, so Mr. Maderas?
Yeah, I just have one last comment. Bob Farrier and his wife are residents of Florida. They were residents of Little Compton, but they changed it. They just built the house down in Florida too. So I don't know if this is just a flip or what. I just, everything doesn't seem right to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sort of, I'll be 80 years old next year, so I'm sort of committed here. I even have my lot set up for eternity in here. So I'm here for the long haul. I don't know how long they will be here. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, last I saw, there was no prohibition against, residents of having homes in other states. So I believe the Farriers do head to Florida for a period of time in the winter, but have been 22-year residents of Little Compton and continue to enjoy Little Compton. So.
The only thing I'd like to point out to Mark, and I think he probably knows this, is there's two other people that are opposing the variance.
That's a zoning board issue, not our issue.
That's right.
Right.
The issue here, as I understand it, is to see if there's any consistency with the comp plan and the goals of the comp plan. And the zoning board will be doing presumably a thorough review of this application. There'll be expert testimony provided that will also address the abutters' concerns. Again, this is a very, very modest, minimalist proposed dwelling here, designed specifically for handicap accessibility, one level. The only deviation from the regulations is the maximum lot coverage, which it exceeds by 3.8%. Again, we would very much like for a determination to be made that this request is consistent with the comp plan, and we will deal with all of the other ancillary matters during the zoning hearing.
Should I go forward with my motion?
yes, please.
Yes.
We find that this has a minimal impact on the comprehensive plan. It meets one of the goals under the housing of H1(c), which is senior housing and ADA compliance. And it also finds that it has a minimal impact on the rural character of the neighborhood.
Here's a second.
Mark, I don't think it has a minimal impact by the size of the structure.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
Anything else, I mean, I would agree with yes, but I mean, we've turned these down or talked to other people and people have to move the house size smaller. And I agree, being handicapped and all, I'm all for that. But I'm just concerned about the structure of this, the size of the structure being 25% more. So if they could work that down some way, make the garage smaller and come back, I would be in favor of it.
Would you support Mark's first point in that the comp plan supports ADA accessibility and accommodations and leave it at that?
No, I think it has an impact. 25% is a lot.
I withdraw my motion.
Mark.
We've done this many, many times. So,
And we haven't done it and we got in trouble for it too.
Is
I mean,
there a way that we can have a motion that we could deny this, this plan submitted and request another plan that would be closer to,
No, I think our role here is to comment on the plan submitted.
Mhm.
And so, as to its conformance with the comp plan.
I think it meets the goals that Mark talked about. The only issue that I have, it's not minimal.
So do you
And I
want to
think-
make a motion that, of what it does conform to?
I think Mark made a good motion for that. I'm not in favor of it, so I won't make a motion.
Bob, you might need to repeat that. We didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm not in favor because of the size, so I do not want to make a motion to it. Hopefully they can work something else out.
Well, I think we need to communicate something to the zoning board relative to how the planning board feels about this.
Well, what if Mark just made the first part and left out the minimum impact part?
Well, you can make that motion.
I can make that motion,
Yes.
that it conforms to the comprehensive plan as far as seniors and housing and handicapped accessibility.
Yes. So is there a second for that motion? Okay.
I hate to be the reminder here, but you need to come up with some recommendation to the zoning board.
So no one has a motion relative to the for a recommendation to the zoning board relative to this application for a variance.
think excessive lot coverage is a minimum. It's up to the zoning board to decide whether it's needs to be made smaller or whether it's acceptable. That's a minimal impact on the comp plan, especially when you're meeting a goal. You're actually meeting two goals and you're meeting the rural character of the area. Everything down there is close together, everything.
Well, I don't think that adds to the rural character. It's having.
I'm
things close.
saying what they're proposing is basically similar to the rural character that's down there.
Well, Mark, we did one on, I think, West Main Road. And they had to change the garage size or change the structure down there because it had an impact.
Yeah,
They had to-
because it also had side yard impact and lot coverage.
We had talked about that and that too. So that had to be changed.
Right, there were two impacts there. This is
Right,
only
there's
one.
two,
This is
right.
this is
But
an
it's not-
issue that the zoning board decides. We're saying that there
Right.
is an impact against the comprehensive plan. But it's up to the zoning board to decide whether they accept it at what it is or whether they ask for some kind of difference.
So we can say that it has an impact
Right.
relative to the size. And it does not have it, or it has a positive impact in conforming with the housing objectives of the
Sounds
company.
like the motion I made,
No, you said it had no, it had no.
Minimal impact.
minimal.
Right,
So
minimal.
let's not
It does have
classify
an
the impact.
impact, but it's not. Somebody else can make the motion.
I realize I'm a bystander here. This is Carol speaking,
Yeah.
but can you just cite the section that Mark cited where it is compliant with the senior housing and the ADA compliance, but then make a statement that there is some concern of the planning board on it, and leave it at that.
That works.
That works, but we need a second, Carol.
Well, I'm
We
not
haven't got a,
even on your
we
board, so
haven't got
you,
a second on any of the motions.
and well, the motion can't come from me, so one of you
I
needs.
understand that, Carol.
So if you make
We
that
haven't got a
motion,
second.
Bob,
I
Helen-
heard Helen say she made that motion.
I
We
made
didn't get
that.
a- We didn't get a second, Mark. Do you want to second it?
no, this is Helen's making the motion now.
I made the
Right.
motion.
Does
Carol,
Mark want to second it?
No,
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, will you please find out who's in favor and who's opposed?
I will. So, so polling on that motion, Mark, you are,
nay.
I'm in favor. Bob Murphy,
Nay.
Bob Green.
Nay.
Okay, so we don't have a motion.
Can we make a motion that we don't?
Let's try this again.
Can we make a motion that
We find that this plan has an impact on the comprehensive plan, but meets goal C1-C, senior housing and ADA compliance.
Period.
second.
All those in favor?
Roll call, please.
I'll poll. Mark, you in favor?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Bob Murphy,
Aye.
Bob Green,
Nay.
Helen.
Aye.
So we have 4 ayes and 1 nay.
And 1 abstain. We have 3 ayes,
Oh, yeah.
2 nays, and 1 object, 1 abstain.
Well,
Four ayes.
you didn't ask Sal what his opinion was.
He
He
abstained.
excused himself.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. So he's not abstaining, he's recused.
Yes. All right, so we have a communication to the zoning board from the planning board relative to the conformance with the comp plan.
I think it's 4-1 and one abstain.
Yes.
Okay. Bill Smith's here with me. Do you want to go back over that plan? Or do you just, how do you want to address?
I was able to listen to you at the meeting, but my computer did not have a speaker, so I was on the phone, but I was muted through the phone, so I wasn't able to support Andy in his discussion. So I apologize for that. I did hear what you said. You had asked about the adding the width of the right-of-way. That is an undefined right-of-way in terms of the actual width. It doesn't have a 40-foot layout like most roads do. So I could put some notation to that effect on the plan. And I'm sorry that this is taking this out of order. I didn't want you to think that I was ignoring you. I tried to join the meeting, but I was.
That's a good way to get away with it, though.
I'm sorry?
That's a good way to get away with it. Just say that your speaker was on.
Bill, what I was looking for was at the entrance to the property to state what the width of it was at the entrance to the property. You don't have to do measured along the way or anything. Just where it enters the property, tell us what the width is to make sure that it's compliant for
Sure.
multiple vehicles. and
Okay.
Multiple lots.
Okay, all right. We can certainly
That's
add
all I
that to the
need.
plan. Thank you.
That was what I
Thank
was asking for.
And again, I apologize for my
Nope, that's quite
technical
all right.
incompetency.
Not
Oh,
at
don't
all.
worry, we'll punish you later, Bill.
I'm sure. Thank you.
Okay, so moving right along.
I could have made a motion back there, you know, I could have put something really good together.
Oh, thank you, Sal. So moving along to the second petition. This has to do with a request for a variance and a special use permit for the Strunks. And this is a property off of Long Pasture. And I'm not sure who is presenting this for the applicant.
I do have someone in the attendees list named labeled Todd. I'm assuming that
Yes.
might be Mr. Strunk.
Yep. Sounds good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
But you can't see me.
No.
Correct.
Do you want to be seen?
That's fine. One way or the other, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, Todd, this is Mike Steers. So just sort of a quick review. As I looked at the application, you're renovating the house. You're looking for a special use permit to maintain the grandfathered state of the existing structure. And I suppose it's a combination, you know, and by virtue of doing that, you also grandfather the variance for the rear yard setback against the wall. That's the only variance that you're looking for, or exception to the zoning, correct?
Yeah, it's the side yard setback and the special use to demolish the existing entrance structure and one rear bedroom structure, all of which fall within that setback. So in essence, we're reducing the amount of nonconformity.
And you're adding a new septic system, is that correct?
Yes.
Todd, and the lot is 2.3 acres.
Yeah, I would have to, I can pull up the plans here for a second. Yeah, it's existing area is 2.31 acres.
Okay. I will tell you that the drawing that's submitted is very confusing because it's almost impossible to tell what part has been removed and what part has been added. So when you say that it will be less square footage when it's finished than it is now, I couldn't justify that by looking at the drawings that were submitted.
So on the very front page, the site plan best indicates, it shows the setback line of 25 feet that bisects the main house structure. We have showed a dashed red line as to the existing structure as it is. And, you know, just to be clear, nothing has been demolished yet from the exterior, from those structures, you know, until we get through zoning. So our hatched area shows the new proposed entry feature and the new proposed east deck.
Yeah, it's not very clear on what we have, but.
Is the building being enlarged back north towards the boundary line?
No, there is a dormer addition within the main footprint from the second floor. So they're on the north, not on the north elevation, but on the north roof, there will be a dormer, a shed dormer.
See if that red area had some kind of measurements in it, then it would be easier, but and then it looks like part of that red goes in a walkway that goes out towards the driveway.
That's
So I
correct.
can't tell whether that's already a part of the house and it's going to be removed? It's,
Yeah, that is in fact correct. That's a ramp, an accessibility ramp that goes down towards the driveway.
okay,
So yes, everything within that dashed area, which currently the existing lot coverage is about 2% at just under 2,300 square feet. It's 2282 square feet. We'll be taking that lot coverage back down to 1.6%, 1,660 square feet. So it's about a net reduction of 600 square feet or so.
yeah, I was just, without measurements in there, it's impossible for us to have calculated out what the loss of lot coverage was. We can see plainly where the two decks are going, but and we got measurements on those, but we didn't have any measurements on what was to be removed.
So the red dashes is what's going to be the new structure, correct?
No, the red
What's being
dashes is
removed.
what's existing and it's
That's what I
getting
thought.
removed.
That's going to be removed.
Yes.
But nothing of the new structure requires a variance. The only thing that requires this petition is the fact that the north setback or the rear setback is 10 feet, as I understand it, and you're going to maintain that same footprint. And that's what the special use permit is going to permit you to do.
But am I correct in saying that the 10 feet is staying the same?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
The house isn't moving any,
the net, if you will, is a smaller footprint with no additional encroachment into side or back or any other lines, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So what are we talking here?
Yeah,
because he needs a special use permit. He can't tear down the.
Yeah, I know. So
in order to maintain the grandfathered status of the rear yard setback, he needs a special use permit.
Well, now's the time for a motion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to note, Michael, it's actually the side yard. This is a really long, the side yard is the setback in question. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Is the northwest corner of the house any closer to the lot line? The way it's depicted on the plan, it looks like it might be a little bit closer, but that may be just in the way it was drawn.
No, as it is existing, that dashed line is the continuation of the north elevation. It basically, we're basically shrinking that north elevation to be back down to the original farmhouse footprint.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Do we have a motion or a statement?
I make a motion that we send a letter to the zoning board saying that we find this to be a minimal impact on the comprehensive plan and that it meets the goals of H1C in the comprehensive plan.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I'll do a roll call. Mark?
Aye.
Mike is aye. Bob Murphy?
Aye.
Bob Green?
Aye.
I don't know. Oh, there's Helen. Helen.
Aye.
And Sal?
Aye.
6 ayes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have one more petition. Mr. Holland's been waiting very patiently.
I have a question, Mike.
Yes, yes.
We're abutters. Do we, or we're on the list. Do I have to recuse myself? I can.
Not unless you have a financial impact,
I have no financial impact.
then it's up to your discretion.
Okay, and I also have no problem with it, so is that okay?
That's okay. So Ray. would
That's
you-
fine.
So Ray, we're up for your
Okay.
petition.
Thank you. Good evening. We represent the Libels, and they live next to Helen Wood House, or around the house or two away. There's a garage that's on this property. It's been there years and years and years. It's 6 feet or so from the side yard, a foot, I think, from the north. We want to tear the garage down. Mrs. Libel is a photographer, fine art photographer, that she does as a hobby. They live in Connecticut. They're getting ready to retire. They want to move back here, and she wants to be able to pursue her hobby. She's not in business. She doesn't do photography for anybody else. It's just for herself. And there are no, it's not a wholesale or retail, anything like that. There's no business. There's no employees. And we went to the building inspector to get some advice. The problem is that the building exists now is got a dirt floor and it's basically falling apart. The best thing to do is to tear the building down and start anew. Well, we got into the process, and the bottom line is that it's in a flood zone. And we have to, the building inspector said he had no problem with the building, what we want to use it for. It's just that we've got to raise it up in the air so that the bottom floor is like 7 feet or so. Tom Hawkins is here with me, and he's the builder, so he can explain the details that are required. The building will be rebuilt the same footprint. It will not be increased. It'll be exactly the same footprint. It won't be moved from where it is. It'll just go up. It's in that corner, and we need a variance on the side yard and the rear yard because we're going up with a new building. The technicality, Pete Madeira said, but we have to do it. So we can do what we want to do. It's a special use permit to do this. So we need both reliefs because we're increasing the building by more than 50%. The ordinance says that we can do it by a special use permit, increasing it to move it up, but still that close to the side yard, we need a variance. And that's why we're here. There's no businesses, there's nothing that's going on there in the future that's not going on now. This will allow them to be able to have the new building, get rid of the thing that's falling apart, but also some area under the building. It's like, it'll still be a garage. They don't have a cellar, okay? There's no place to put things. So that's what that would be used for. So that's it in a nutshell.
Ray, do you have CRMC approval?
Bill Smith said we didn't need it. We did not, and Peter Madeira said we did not need it.
You're putting a bathroom in, you need,
No, not said, not according to them, Mark. We went over this, the bathroom, I might add, we just put a brand new septic system in there because the old one was a cesspool. And we were told that, no, we don't need CRMC approval.
all right, well,
The elevation is within the limits, going up 7 feet. is-
Yeah. In other words, this building under the ordinance can't go higher than 24 feet, and it's not gonna go above the 24 feet. It's gonna stay below 24 feet or below.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me when you want me to. I mean, Tom Hawkins is here. I mean, that's his bailiwick. So if you have any questions from him, that would be fine.
So just to clarify, the building would be under 24 feet from existing grade. So it would be like 23 feet, 8.5 inches from the existing grade.
Okay.
Bob Green has got Bill Smith there, but he's muted. You gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
You got a dinosaur here. I'm sorry. Just to kind of correct that, you will need CRMC approval to construct the new garage because it's within 200 feet of the pond. But you can't go to CRMC until you get zoning relief. So you need to get the zoning in compliance and the building inspector to sign off on the project before you can go to CRMC for the project, for their approval.
When we talked about this, I thought you said that wasn't necessary because it was the same building. It was a
Well, you were
refurbishing of
going
that
to
building.
we were going to reuse the old building, and as one of the discussions, that you're going to knock this down and rebuild it, correct?
Well, yeah. Same
So-
building, same footprint, same everything.
And we can do that with a maintenance assent. We don't, but you still need to get their blessing.
Okay, I stand corrected.
And you need to you correct the rear yard setback, your easterly setback. You had that as being 10 feet. It's got to be 15 feet. That's the minimum.
Because of the lot size, it's a substandard lot. That was the number that Peter Maderas gave me, but we can.
I just looked it up in the ordinance. It's 15 feet minimum. So you're off by 9 feet.
But Mark, if the existing footprint
is 9 feet
is whatever it is, the special use permit will grandfather, right?
Correct.
Correct. But just so your information is correct.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. If you read the explanation, Mark, okay, I'm having trouble watching you guys and reading this thing also. In my explanation I have filed, it said the garage currently measures 499 square feet, non-conforming by dimension.
Yeah.
The garage is approximately 6 feet from the easterly boundary and 9 feet from the northerly boundary.
Right. So
Okay.
if it's 6 feet, that means it's off by 9 feet.
Okay, he said 10 feet on the side. That's what he told us.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, we'll check it out. I mean,
Yeah. What
This
is
part
the,
about this project is it brings it into compliance with the flood zone construction standards. Right now, if there was a hurricane or a flood, then you'd probably lose the garage. It's in an AE zone, and the new building will certainly have flood vents and the other requirements that FEMA has, as well as the state building code for preventing flood damage.
Yeah, we know about the AE zone, don't we, Bill?
Yes, we do.
I have some other concerns. The new septic that was put in, what was that built for? How many bathrooms?
It's
How many
number,
bedrooms? Sorry.
it's number of
Bill
bedrooms.
can answer. Bill, I mean,
Yeah, it was replaced with an advanced treatment system. It's a bottomless sand filter.
I saw it. I was there.
Yeah, and I don't have that information. It's in my truck. But I believe it matched what was in the house. That was in compliance. We're not adding a bedroom in the garage. It's
I
really gonna be-
understand.
Yeah.
And I think you already have, the line for a bathroom has already been approved by the DEM, I think, for the garage.
Yeah, it's a convenience bathroom, so there'd be no increase in flow. It's just, so you don't have to run into the house to use the facilities.
And I understand that, but if it's only a one bedroom system, then you're in a really sensitive area there. You look, every map in our book, it's all eco concerns, there's wetland resource concerns, there's natural resource concerns. All of our maps show that area as a really sensitive area. So you're gonna have to be really careful. The zoning issue down there is low density, and you're not adding any density as far as residential, but you're going to be adding usable space. So
I believe it was 3 bedrooms, but I don't have that information right
and
at my
it's not
fingertips.
important to us, Bill, but it's something that zoning is going to ask you. So I have a real issue with this. I think it's overbuild for the area. And I really think that there's too many issues in the comp plan, as far as I'm concerned, to approve it. As far as sending any kind of a favorable recommendation.
Well, the
What specifically, Mark? I'm not quite, I mean, it's already there. It's just making something that's there better. I don't understand.
And well, because of the area, right, it's going to generate more use in that area. You know, she's going to be out there in the studios, and I will tell you now, there'll be people coming and going because some people are going to be coming in to buy some of her artwork.
But she
I'm
doesn't
sure
sell
she-
it.
Yeah,
That's
well-
absolutely not the case. There is no sales. If you read the explanation, that's.
I did read the explanation, but
Okay.
you know, explanations are always not exactly what they are. You know, I don't have a concern with going up because the trees on the property line are probably higher than the 24 feet. So that's not an
Yeah,
issue.
You're right.
But you know, you're in such a sensitive area. Any build out, I think, is a concern to me.
Are you
There is no
concerned?
business.
Yeah, are you concerned, when you say build out, what you're saying is you're concerned because it might be more activity, but the build out there is none. It's the same, basically, structure. I'm not sure what you mean by build out.
Well, you're taking a single story garage that's just about ready to fall down, and you're going to make it in. And I understand you have to raise it up because you're in the flood zone.
Yeah.
But now you're putting basically a studio on the second floor. It's not something I'm comfortable with.
If we did do any approval on this or send down a recommendation of approval, they could come in and they could just repair that building and still have the building there, and they could shore it up and repair it, right?
You can't do anything to
No,
it
you
without
can't.
making it meet the flood zone standards. So
Yeah.
you'd have
That's
to,
the
you'd
problem.
have to raise it if he did anything.
I
See,
mean, you
that's what,
couldn't,
if you recall, when Bill Smith and I were talking a minute ago, that's what we talked about in the very, very beginning. And then the building inspector said, no, if you're going to do that, then you got to start from scratch, basically.
Right.
And we've had, this hasn't been easy because this discussion started like 2-3 building inspectors ago. I mean, we had Dan, we had Pete, and then we had Billy Moore was in part of this. So you get a little different twist from everybody. And this was when we talked to Pete Maderas and Billy Moore, this was decided this was the best way to go. It complies with the flood requirements. It's a new building, and it doesn't block anybody's view. It doesn't cause any problems in the neighborhood. Mrs. Woodhouse lives there, and
I don't have a problem.
she
I
doesn't
don't
have a
get this.
problem. In all due respect, Mark, I think what you're doing is you're taking the position, well, if we allow it to happen, it might turn out to be something in the future. I mean, the previous one you had with Mr. Farrier was the same thing. Well, we have a walkout cellar. Well, that could turn out to be an apartment. Well, I mean, I don't think you can look at it that way. I just don't think that's the proper approach.
I have to agree with you, Ray, and I can't see where this would have any minimal effect on the area. I mean, if nobody around it mind going up 7 or 8 feet and it doesn't block any views or create any kind of hazard, I don't see why we don't send down that we don't see that any minimum effect on it. That I think it would actually improve.
Billy,
to be perfectly honest.
This is Sal Marinosi. Is there anyone around that lot that has any problem with it, that knows what's happening?
Well, the owner was Mrs. Woodhouse, and she's in favor of it. She's next door. I live across the pond. I can look at it, and I don't have any problem. So can Michael. I don't think he can see it.
I don't get the sense that she would be selling her art. I mean, selling her photos there. Let's just. So
it's just,
Mark, I'm not worried about that.
Ray, can you just answer me 2 questions, please? How much of the height is going up from the existing garage?
It's going up 8 feet, so so I believe that the flood zone there, maybe Bill will clarify, is 7 17 feet.
Yeah, it is.
So we're bringing it up the minimum amount to make it flood zone compliant.
And how
So-
far is that off the existing roof of today?
So the existing roof of today is 23 feet 10, and the proposed one is 32, 8.5.
For 9 feet, okay. And then it's not blocking anybody's view.
No. That's one of the reasons we put it there, Bob, because as Mark said, if you go and look at the house to the north, which is like in front of the stone house, you can't even see it because as Mark said, there are trees that block it out. So this is not going to be an issue. And it's the best place to put it because the trees, it doesn't get in anybody's view. That's the key.
Does the existing garage have that 99 square foot entrance on it with the little? in the
Yes,
front?
Yes,
yes, it's already
It
there.
does.
yes, it is.
Okay.
What
And
was your
that's not
second
going up.
question, Bob?
Second question,
Yeah,
what, did it block anybody's view?
oh, okay.
We have a real estate expert that's going to testify that he got on the deck at the house. It's a deck house in back to the northeast and has pictures looking down. And because of the trees, you can't even see this garage
Where it is now.
where it is now. And in anticipation that if it's up X feet, you still won't see it.
I think the only problem I have with it is there's a bathroom in it. And the reason I have a problem that there's a bathroom in it, and they're showing us that there's a bathroom in it, is that where there's a bathroom, it usually turns out to be someone wants to stay overnight or, it becomes other than a garage with storage. And that just breeds to me that it's going to be utilized for something else as well. And I don't know that I don't know the people, but I mean, if you're going to have a bathroom and you're going to retire, if you're going to have a little studio up there, I guess you do want to have a bathroom in it. So you're not 20 or so steps going down and another 200 to the house. But anytime you have a bathroom, it just,
If she's a photographer, she may need water, access to water, so,
I don't think anymore.
probably not.
I think that was back in the day.
Yeah, I know. That's back in the day when I was a photographer, but, I don't have any problem with this. I mean,
Well, I think the height structure is exactly what we discussed when we discussed the new base flood elevation and the impact of that.
Yeah.
And you basically can't do anything to that garage without raising it.
Yeah.
You can't have a usable space that's in the flood zone. So
And you
or
got-
you either
other than
got
a
an old
garage.
building that's gonna, so you either got an old building that's gonna fall down on somebody, or we remodel it and get it so it looks nice in the neighborhood.
Right.
Mark, is your main concern that they put sales out of that new addition or garage?
That's
use-
one of my concerns, but, the build out of it just, it bothers me. It doesn't seem to fit with all of our concerns. Our maps 1, 3, 4, and 6 all show that area as sensitive, both ecologically and natural resources. And I think it's an overdue.
But I think, Mark, with these floodplains and all of that right now, we're gonna be looking at a lot of things like this.
Yeah, and maybe so.
You know,
I would be much less irritated with it if it didn't have the bathroom, but the bathroom just pushes me over the edge. And I know it seems silly, but that's just.
We're all getting older, Mark.
Don't move my bathroom, but I don't, it doesn't sit well with me, And I spent all day in the comp plan and I couldn't find one goal that it matches.
I think the floodplain is the big issue here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I think is the issue. I mean, there's not, our hands are tied on that.
So what do you mean, Bob? You feel that our hands are tied, that we really have to go along with these plans when they come up?
We're looking at them a lot more right now because they're gonna have to raise all these up.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but that's what the state's saying. And
Right.
you go down to different areas, North Carolina, South Carolina, these buildings are all up. And I just asked Bill, Bill a minute ago, is there a breakaway wall or anything like that? There's not, but
But
we
this
didn't
is
design the plan.
This is a mature area, so it's really not going to affect the area, and it's not going to affect the view, considering that it's got mature trees there already. I mean, I realize a hurricane can come in and wipe out all the trees, but I don't know. I don't see any problem going forward with this.
Make a motion.
You guys are gonna have to help me out. I would say that we send a letter to, it has to go to the zoning board, that we see this as an improvement in the area, although it does have not complete compliance with our comp plan, but due to the new regulations of the state on flood zones, we're in agreement that this would be an improvement to the area.
Your second for that?
I'll second that. This is Sal.
Okay, Sal?
Anybody have, Bob, you talked about it doesn't have anything in the comp plan. We took those words out. I don't know who's taking notes.
You go ahead.
You had a section in there, something about it doesn't conform with the comp plan. Did I understand that right?
Bob,
Mike.
that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't comply completely with the comp plan, although the comp plan does kind of give us some guidelines about improving the areas, and I just feel that this improves the area.
Well, if I could interject, okay, the zoning ordinance, I think we can safely say complies with the comp plan, or it's supposed to.
Right.
Zoning ordinance says that you can have this use and do what we want to do with a special use permit. If the zoning ordinance is in compliance with the comp plan, and we're trying to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance and the state law on elevations with flood zones, it's like saying it's a nice day when it's sunny. It doesn't have to say, it doesn't have to be a double negative. If it complies with the zoning ordinance, which you can have a special use permit, which is a permitted use. Special use permit is not a variance. It says that you can have it if you do certain things. It doesn't violate the comp plan, because I spent some time, as Mark did. The comp plan, I don't think, addresses these issues with elevations as now are required. That comp plan is, I don't know how many years old, and it just doesn't get into those things. So it's not that it prohibits it, it just doesn't address it.
Anybody want to help me to clarify my
Did we just take that? Did anybody take notes to what you said?
Yeah, just take that section out.
Take that section out.
Yeah.
I mean, it agrees with the comp plan right now. And I think as Ray said, because of the flood zone and these new rules are not in the comp plan.
And I'll go for that amendment to my motion.
I think what you could say also is that you can get it to totally agree with the comp plan with the special use, thereby bringing it in more conformance than it has been.
Mike, what do we have?
Carol?
Oh, did Carol take notes?
No, Edie is actually the one who's taking your minutes for you. She just doesn't have a microphone where she can speak.
Oh, okay.
That poor thing.
So basically, what Bob is making for a motion is that it meets the basic standards of the comprehensive plan. It meets zoning, if a special use permit is granted by the zoning board, and that the planning board
Bingo.
does not have a problem with it.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Sufficient for your motion?
And I seconded it. I seconded it.
Okay,
Right.
so
So
I would say you make a roll call then.
we'll make a roll. Mark,
Negative.
I'm in favor. Bob Murphy,
Positive in favor.
Bob Green,
Favor.
Helen,
Favor.
Sal.
Favor.
5-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to get out of. I don't know how to shut this thing off.
Oh, I can do that, Mr. Cullen. Don't
Hey,
you?
Carol, come on up here, please.
All right, thanks.
You're gone.
So, planning board business, we have a couple of things yet to go through here. The first item, last month, the board gave Mark and me permission to approve
Yep.
the administrative subdivisions that joined lots and surveys. We elaborated in our, as the minutes reflect, which there can't be any discussion. You need to, up or down, just give Mark and me permission to do that. And then subsequent to any actions that we take in the month, we agreed to report to you what we had approved or came before us. So I need
So there's no,
to have that clarification made.
Yeah, what we really want to do is take out that 7-day waiting period so that there's no confusion.
so what you're saying is there's no discussion because that would constitute a meeting of some kind.
That's correct.
Polling is what they call it.
So we
Yeah.
just want, to,
Yeah.
that you're giving Mark and me the ability to approve lot mergers and surveys in between the meetings until September.
And
Okay.
any that,
I'll make that motion.
and
Yeah.
any that we address will be on the bottom of the following month's agenda. So you'll know now, like we did,
Oh,
we approved 50 Bailey's Ledge. Okay,
Yeah.
we approved that one because it was simple, there wasn't anything involved. But then the Mara plan came up, and because they wanted to extend the period before recording, that had to come before the board because it needed a vote. Even though the plan was simple, the request by the applicant was involved and required
okay.
a board vote.
So is there,
So-
Okay, so I'll make that,
Yeah,
I'll
so
make
go
that
ahead, Sal.
motion. Anybody,
Go ahead, Sal, make that motion.
I'll
Sal
make the
made the
motion
motion.
that we give,
who's the
well,
second?
he said what he needed. Just put it into a motion.
Second.
All right.
I can't make the motion, neither can Mike, somebody else
No,
has to
no,
make
I'm,
it.
I'm saying,
Yes.
someone, Mike outlined it, what you need. You need approval. You need approval of the board to go over the plans, the drawings, and file them without discussion.
We need approval to do lot mergers and surveys. In
All right,
between,
I'll make that motion that we give you the authority to make approval on lot surveys and what else?
lot mergers.
Administrative
And lot
subdivisions,
mergers.
administrative
and
subdivisions. Yeah.
Okay? And,
Second.
let me second it.
Bob seconded. Okay,
Bob
roll
Green
call.
Bob Green seconded and make a roll call.
Mark,
Aye.
Mike's aye. Bob Murphy,
Aye.
Bob Green,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Sal, aye. Thank you very much.
6-0.
Yeah. So then there's one other thing, sort of if anybody wants to raise their hand for the Community Resilience Building Workshop. This is something that Larry Anderson's been very involved in and applied for the town, and the town was awarded or recognized for the first phase, and now we have to, I guess, write up a work plan that then would be presented. And in the event that the town wins, there'll be one of 3 or 4 towns, Carol can help me here, that get as much as $100,000 to work on municipal projects or execute the work plan that we put forward.
So what is the resiliency plan? I don't,
Well, it's a
Well,
workshop right now.
Right. The whole point of the workshop is to sit down with a collective group of town officials, draft a plan that's going to be presented to the board, Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank. And they will then choose up to 3 or 4 cities or towns that will be awarded grant funds to accomplish what your plan is. And the plans have hazard mitigation.
I'd be happy to sit on that board.
Me too. I would.
There's only one.
Yep.
There's only one?
Okay.
There's only one person who gets to sit.
All right, well, we'll draw
Okay,
straws.
Mark, sit on it.
We'll draw straws.
Sal,
Mark,
if
sit
you
on
want to
it.
be on that board, then you should have the right to be there.
No, you sit on it.
Yeah, you sit on it. You sit
No,
on
that's
it.
not very nice.
Okay, so while we're choosing here, the workshop is July 23rd from 8:45 in the morning till 12 noon.
And that's gonna be held on
Okay.
Zoom or something, or what?
It's going to be, it'll be
Wait a minute.
a Zoom workshop.
Oh, that's September. Okay.
Oh.
August.
No, this is July.
July 23rd is the date.
Yeah. So you got to make sure your calendar's free for Thursday, July 23rd.
No,
Nope, okay.
you gotta do it, Mark.
The marks,
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm just checking my calendar because I think when we're away that weekend.
okay.
No, you'll be here, Mark.
Hold on, Sal. Don't go anywhere yet.
I mean,
July
if-
23rd is a Thursday.
Sal, you're it. I'm gone. I'll be away.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay,
Thanks.
Sal, you got that on your
23rd.
calendar?
Bailed me out again.
Yep. Yep,
Okay, I'll send you a reminder just in case.
please.
All right. If you bail, Sal, let me know. I'll go in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the only other sort of polling question I had was relative to the Zoom meetings. Everybody, how they feel about conducting our planning board meeting this way, and you're comfortable doing it this way?
Yes.
I am, but I gotta get my computer online with it.
Okay, yeah, we miss
Instead of
seeing
just the
stuff.
phone.
Do you want to do, you want to go around and do a poll or what? I mean,
Status on the town hall, does anybody know? Opening? What's the status in the town hall opening and things like that?
Well, we're
Carol,
still
please.
by appointment only at the moment. I mean, we are functioning 8 to 4 Monday through Friday, but we
Good
are
job.
by appointment only. The governor's orders are still through at least August, I think it was August 7th, which requires that some form of electronic means is offered. So even if you met in person, you're still gonna have to have the Zoom factor. That makes it a little bit more complicated to meet in person and do Zoom at the same time. So I would prefer that you stay this way until we get to be able to be in person and not have to worry about the Zoom part.
Great.
Yeah, I agree.
I have no
I
issue.
agree. I agree.
Everybody plan on, we'll Zoom in August and then
Yeah.
review it again then. So I have no other items. Does anyone else?
I make a motion that we file the correspondence that we didn't receive in the appropriate folder.
I'll
I'll second
that.
it.
Okay,
And I make a motion, we adjourn.
And I'll second it.
Second that.
all right. Thank you all
Aye.
very much.
Thank you.
All
Good
right,
night.
See you next month.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Carol.
Carol.
Stay
Thank
safe.
you, Carol.
Thanks,
You're
Carol.
welcome. You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Edie. I know you can't speak, but thank you.
Helen, I'm clicking my pen.
I can hear it. I can hear it.